Friends, I am so excited to share the most dangerous belief that you can have as an Uber Eats driver. Hold up though. I don't think you're actually going to believe me unless I share the details of this flower delivery that I did. Had it gone smoothly, there would have been no problems. But sure enough, it didn't go smoothly. So I want to give some information about that order, both what went right and more importantly, what went wrong. Because that order went so wrong, that really proved in my mind this most dangerous belief that I want to share with you next. And then I also want to mention that this isn't the first time this has happened. Some kind of incident that pointed to this dangerous belief that we all commonly have. And I'll cover that more in a little bit. So this flower delivery came in and it looked like 11 and a half, we'll just say 10 miles for $11.58. So it was roughly $1 per mile, not a big deal. I know flower deliveries, they're always ready on time. So I went to that store in that grocery department and the florist had it ready. And it was a very nice bouquet of some roses. And I'll show that to you here. It was very beautiful. So after starting that order, I did notice it was going to a hospital. So I thought, okay, I've been at this place before. And I knew where to go. But still, if you're the average driver, you're not going to be ready for what happens because you can't just pull up to the hospital and expect to be ushered in. There's a lot of sick people there. I'm just delivering a flower. Why would I want to try to hog a space right there in the front? So I already knew this hospital's layout. There's no room. It's going to be a parking garage. And I was just trusting, please let there be a parking spot for me because already I was going to have to walk a long distance and that's just to get in the hospital. Sure enough, I ended up on the very top floor after circling up, it seemed like 4 flights of different levels, but I was able to squeeze in the last spot and the elevator wasn't even working, so I took the stairs. So you can see already the frustration that's going on. I did make it inside the hospital and I wasn't sure which room the patient was in. So I went up to the information desk and just started chatting with them. And it was, this is before Christmas, so everybody's happy and jolly and the nice Christmas decorations. They looked up and sure enough, there's nobody by that name there. And then in a little bit, they went into the administration office and they found out that it's a doctor that I'm delivering to. And the doctor wasn't there, not just at that moment, but he wasn't even at that hospital anymore. So once they gave the name of the place he was at, I looked it up. The closest one I could find was 70 miles away. So I knew right there, not going to deliver this order. And so I was chit-chatting with the volunteer staff up front, just sharing this is what's likely going to happen. And sure enough, there was a variation of that did happen. So I'm going to get into those important details for you so you know if a flower delivery is worth it for you. And then again, just be patient. It's going to lead right into that very dangerous belief. Please don't fall for it. First, I tried chatting with customer support and it said a 10-minute wait. Usually chat's faster. So this time I called Uber Eats support and they answered pretty quickly. I shared that I'm doing a flower delivery and that I needed help because the customer's not around and not going to be around. And again, this happens sometimes. I was used to just canceling the order and then they would say just leave it or I would get $3 for my time. But actually what the rep told me is cancel it on my end, and what that would do is trigger a return trip to bring it back to the florist. And I thought this is a great idea because these flowers look very elegant and expensive and it'd be a shame just to leave them there at the hospital. But based on my past experience with those Uber Eats customer reps, I wouldn't be surprised if they said just leave it. So I had already made small talk with those assistants there saying you might end up with a really nice bouquet for Christmas. But that ended up not being the case. So sure enough, I did cancel it on my end, and then right away a return trip came in there to go back to the florist, which I am commending Uber Eats support for this because this is a valuable bouquet and it's nice that they had it already built in the system to be able to take it back. And of course, when I was on the phone with them, obviously this is a Grubhub, long distance for, that was an okay order. I didn't know I was online still. So on the phone, I was very, very specific with the Uber Eats customer support. I said, this person is a doctor. He's not at this hospital. Please cancel this order and inform whoever the customer is that you're not going to be able to deliver it. And I was very firm with this. This isn't like a food order that they would just say, oh, throw it away, and then, the driver gets a free meal out of it. I knew they weren't going to just let these flowers go to waste. So I was very firm and insistent, saying, please know that this is not going to happen in the future. You're not going to be able to find this guy. Anyway, so I returned the flowers. I brought them way back to that florist. So by now, let's just round that off at 20 miles for distance. And then I closed out the order on my end. And I wished that florist a great day. And I asked her, hey, what are you going to do with these? And she said she would be able to reuse them because they are fresh, so they would have to go out that day anyway. So I left and I wished her well. Little did I know I would see her again. So when I got paid, I saw that the total pay was $19. Originally, that order was $11.58, and that included probably a $1 tip or something like that for 10 miles. That was borderline worth it. Now it's $19, and it took me 50 minutes total. On the thing, it says 12.3 miles. Obviously, that's not accurate. It was well over 20, but we'll just say 20. So $19, that's a little bit less than $1 per mile. And $19 an hour, it was 10 more minutes. It was okay. Yeah, it was a waste of time, and it took a lot of time interacting, but I did get paid for the order, so who can complain? So this gets into the next part. Later that afternoon, I ended up getting a different flower order, and I went back to this place. She recognized me, and I said, oh no, because I saw that same bouquet there. I'm not here for this one. I have a different one. Can you believe she told me that Uber Eats was trying to send another driver and take this now to a different hospital in another town? This is frustrating because I know that's wrong. The hospital where this guy worked at would know where he works, and it wasn't anywhere within this area. It was 70 miles away. So what's going on? And I know the florist was frustrated. I even asked her, can you contact the customer and ask them? And she said no. Only Uber Eats knows the customer. Even from this business, the florist couldn't contact the customer directly. She had to go through Uber Eats as well. How frustrating. So this gets right into, what is this dangerous belief that I'm talking about? You cannot trust that Uber Eats customer support has your back. Yes, I know you feel comforted knowing that behind the scenes they're looking out for you, guiding you when something doesn't go wrong. But I can tell you, they do not have your back. With this flower incident, I very clearly told them the facts of what was going on. I actually don't believe that they gave any thought at all to what I was saying. They just wanted to get me off the phone because sure enough, they tried to send another driver. The florist stopped them from sending a driver and said, no, this is wrong. But again, she was frustrated. She couldn't contact the customer herself. So when you have the independent contractor, the driver, which is you trying to get involved and help, you even have the business trying to get involved and help, and Uber Eats customer support is refusing to acknowledge all input from the field, the people that are actually out there doing the work. So the Uber Eats customer support agents, wherever they are in the world, I don't think they really care, and I don't think they actually do anything based on what the driver or a business tells them. I think for whatever reason, they're discouraged from maybe clocking on more time and getting paid for it, or the company just gives them so much to do that they can't handle it. I don't know. But what I do know is they're not helpful to any driver. They're not going to have your back in times of trouble. They're not actually going to resolve anything. I think all they're seriously doing is just trying to get you off the phone, get you off the chat, so that they can go on with their day. And I'm not trying to criticize the customer support agents. Clearly, English is not their first language. And I realize that is not the full issue. Even if they do understand what you're telling them, they don't care. They don't have the same work ethic that a normal company would hire for customer support agents. They don't care. I think Uber Eats is just trying to save as much money as possible, hire the cheapest level of support they can, and they really don't care because we're independent contractors. Uber Eats gets the cut from the order initially. That's all they care about is getting their money. I seriously don't think that they care about the logistics of any of the orders on their own. All they care about is their money. So I would say don't waste your time, don't waste your breath trying to contact customer support and expect they're going to have your back. Early on in this video, I shared that this has happened before, and trust me, there have been other incidences, but in this case, I actually made a video about it. I called and Uber Eats promised to help and stop this from happening, but I don't think they did. In this video, I share all the gruesome details of what happened with all these drivers terrorizing this poor woman. So, I'll see you there in that video, and please, don't ever think that Uber Eats has your back. That is the most dangerous belief a driver can have.